Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. Okay, so where are we now? Wednesday. Another halfway through another week already. Amazing, isn't it? How quick these weeks are going. So, Puna trade. How you doing, bud? Richard, how you doing, buddy? Okay, so we've had two little pullbacks overnight, and we've had a slow kind of wind up. All-time highs up here. Looks like we're heading up at the moment. We've got some sellers just above price at the moment. There's also sellers up at 15, and there's all sellers as well up at 20 up here. So it does look like price is generally getting pulled up. So we'll see how we go. Beach Bum, how you doing, bud? Little Hammer, how you doing, matey? I've got this marked as a channel, working quite nice from there. We got a touch there and a touch there, and it's working kind of neat at the top. So I'll be looking for some kind of a pullback here. News-wise, the only news we've got that may affect me is so I've got some oil news. Crude oil inventory is coming up at 3:30 UK time, but I've got my alarm on there, so it should bleep. So we'll see how we get on. We have nice hello, Jeffrey. Ben, how you doing? Tyden, how you doing? Okay, so this does look like price is going to continue up. So there are sellers right at 10, which is quite low. I can't see that making much of a difference. I think they'll kind of just get absorbed, I think. We've got what looks like a bit of a range here. So let me have a look. So sellers there, sellers here, sellers here. Now you may argue that's a failed breakout. So would I want to take that? It is actually a second entry long. Yeah, I'm not sure at the moment. I'm not a massive fan of taking those types of trades. Now, if I look on these charts, they're both quite different. Let me just have a little look a minute. Can I take this out of touch? That I could probably do. It's an inside bar at the moment anyway, to ride it back in. I would want it to break below there personally. Now, there is going to be liquidity back here, so at the moment, I'm just sitting tight here. It's an inside bar, which means it's weaker. And I'll be amazed if that doesn't stop it out. Yeah, it has done so. Let me have a little look here. So we've got a little... That's frustrating. We've got a little micro channel down there with a break and a new low. So let's see how we react here. We have got liquidity down here at the moment. So there's 7,000 there. You can see a little... Well, it was a little bit there. We got VWAP as well. I think that's VWAP here. So we may get a shove up from there. See, I've got this marked off and I can't see where there's a break there. That is a trade I noticed. Now, that was quite early. That was around about, I don't know, 1 o'clock UK time. That was an absolute beauty of a trade. We clearly got a push up, clearly got two legs back. I'd have jumped all over that. I think that's a really nice trade. You can see it's very wicky down here, but I like that one. And look, it did it half take off. So, are we going to get a couple of legs? So, we broke yesterday's highs. All-time highs are up here. Let me just have a look at buyers and sellers here. Is that still? So, around about 91-ish. There's buyers here. there'll be probably some liquidity there. It's not a huge channel up, so I wouldn't expect it to come down a massive amount. We've broken any liquidity here. I think that would be enough of a break personally for the size of the channel. There's probably an area where it may bounce there. You can see it along there, and we've bounced off it, so we'll see. Okay, so it's broken below there by a tick. So let's see what happens now. Is this coming down? See, I've got this marked as a channel, but it may not be. Tough one. I'm going to say there are buyers down here now, about 91, which is right in this area. So I'm not sure about that channel. Trouble is, if it's valid, this may push up and make a new high. But if it's not, this may be a channel down. Now, we may have a couple of pushes up and it may come down, or it could end up turning into something like that. So you might go short up here, either a bigger channel or a break new low, and because of the channel, it may push up. So it's a tough one. Let me just tweak this. Okay, so would I want to go short here? Not here, I certainly wouldn't know. Will it come down? Quite possibly. But if this channel is valid, it's probably going to find its way up. I wouldn't expect it to do it now. Bars like that, I would expect to get stopped out. You just don't know whether this is going to start to go like that. That's the trouble. Normally a channel like that, they're the types of size of channels I love trading. 2 legs up to here and then ride it down. But it's a tough one, isn't it? 1, 2, 3. Maybe a triple test. 1, 2, 3. There's not a huge amount of room to the lows. That's the trouble. And I ain't finished yet. Yeah, I'm not taking that. 20 ticks, tick above, tick below. Yeah, it's probably going to come down below here, but there's just not enough space for me. There are buyers here, so do I really want to short into buyers? It's hard to say at the moment. It's a little bit sideways, a little bit choppy. And if you did take that one, it's not looking good, is it? So, boom, yeah, look how quick that turned. I bet there'll be a few traders caught in that, thinking triple test. Trouble is, I've got two schools of thought here. That may be valid, and it may find its way up. It's a tough one. What I will say is you've got buyers there, so you're going to have some stops in there, and that is around where we've got some buyers. So let me have a look. So between 90 and 92 and a half. Yeah, so right in kind of in the middle of there. Will that come down? It may do. But I'm just sitting tight here. I mean, don't get me wrong. If this wasn't valid, I would be looking for something here. I would be looking for more of a breakout that fails. You may argue that's one, but it's still a bit sideways and a bit uncertain whether we're going to make a new high, but it does look like it's working. So if you went short there, triggered you, pushed up, stopped you out for one tick. If you went long there, triggered you, came down, stopped you out for one tick. So when it's like this, you've got to be careful, especially if you don't know which way price is going. And at the moment, I'm just not 100% sure whether I think it's going to bounce here and start working its way up. Or what. But channel down, break, new low. We know there are buyers here. There are buyers a little bit further down as well. Okay, we're coming into these buyers here. There are buyers there and some buyers here. Right, let's have a look. What do I think? So there'll be liquidity up here. Don't doubt it. Above there, right above there. Above there and above there. So is this going to continue down? It's hard to say. We've bounced multiple times there. And it depends how you feel about this channel, whether you think it's going to push up and make a new high. So another tick and all that lot's gone there. So is it going to pull back down or continue down? It's hard to say. So it does look like it's attempting to push up here. Aggressive buyers, there's double the amount of aggressive buyers. I mean, there are no guarantees. You never know. We may end up doing something like that. You never know. Still buyers below price here, so this may push up, clear liquidity. It's broken above there and push back down and clear stuff at the bottom. It certainly looks like that's what it's doing. There is technically a second entry short there, but I'm just sitting tight here. I don't know whether it's going to flush some of this or whether it's going to trap some shorts, thinking this is going down and rush up. I don't think that's a terrible looking channel. It's touching there, nice. It's touching here, so I think there's still a good chance this is going to try and retest these highs. I'm just going to leave this alone. I mean, some may go short there. I think it's a bit risky. It may work. I don't know, but we've sort of cleared this bottom in. We've pushed up, and it looks like we may be coming to try and test this. It may not work. It may take off. But we've had a move down, and it's a little bit congested here, so I'm just sitting tight here. There is a lower high again. You may say a channel with a break lower high, and it may come rushing down. Trouble is, we're very close to the lows, so I mean, look at the size of that bar. There's no space left for a starter, so I'm just sitting tight here. I'm not getting in there. There's no space. Okay, so we've cleared any possible liquidity left from there. Clearly there. We know there were buyers there. I marked that there. So they've been taken. Now, there are still buyers below. There are buyers at 90. And there are some a little bit lower, just above 87.5. So is this going to come down? Or is it going to bounce? I got no idea, really. Maybe we have two legs. Maybe it's going to end up something like this. Doesn't look shocking, does it? I mean, it's testing this midline, so it may be. It's hard to say, but at the moment, I'm just going to leave it and just see what happens here. See if we get a bounce or see if it does continue. But if there is a channel there, it may well pull back a bit before it continues down. So we're kind of close to the lows of here. So it may temporarily pull back and then continue down. So I'm just going to take the colour out of that so it's an area of interest as opposed to a certain channel. I mean, it certainly wouldn't be the worst looking one in the world. You can see we've had a little bounce at the midline there, and same here. It's kind of riding a little bit, isn't it? So we'll leave it like that. See what happens. So sellers at 10 up here. All-time highs up here. So, I mean, that is starting to resemble a bull flag. So we may have a bounce, and then it may take off. Not that I trade those, but I certainly know what they look like. And that could be one usually will bounce 3 times and then push up, pull back a bit, and then take off. So I'd consider that as one kind of push down. Maybe a pullback and another test. See if we get this and then it takes off. I certainly wouldn't trade it based on that, but it's nice to know where it could go. I'd certainly be a bit cautious about shorting it up here with it looking like a bit of a bull flag. Got to say, the CL chart has been absolute pants lately. I'm not taking a trade on here for a long while. That's working along there really nice, and the midline, so I'm quite happy with that. In fact, they're very similar. They start off riding here and then they kind of push up to the top. So that looks okay, actually. We've got whatever we had here, a bit of chop, 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 chop. We've had a pullback, 2 attempts to push higher, a correction. We push up and we bounce. And we're riding quite nicely up that line. And then obviously today we still tend to move up. So I'm certainly, for some reason, these bigger channels, I always get nervous about trading them off that midline because you never know when it's going to decide to come to this side. That's indeed if it is a channel. What I will say, I am aware that that's doing that, and you may argue it could be a triple test and it's a second entry long. But for some reason, I don't have a lot of confidence taking these because of the midline. You never quite know if it's going to come lower. So I'm just going to, well, there's no setup anyway, but it would have been a potential setup, but I'm always a bit nervous about that trading in this top section. So just forget that for now. So it's starting to resemble a bull flag. We've had a push up here, 1 attempt to go lower, 2nd attempt to go lower. So it could well, I mean, both scenarios would generally, price would come higher if it was a channel and a bull flag. Trouble is, price is coming down at the moment, so it seems just a little bit unnatural to think about going long. So I'm just going to sit tight here and do nothing as usual. Hmm. Okay, bounce and bounce. Now, if this is a bull flag, that is kind of where I'd expect it to rise from. Right. Possible overshoot. Oh, I don't know. This thing's just dropping, isn't it? I was going to say it does look like it may hold at that 50% level, but this thing looks like it's got other plans. I'm actually not a fan of that the more I look at it. I think it's probably more somewhere along the lines of that, where we've got a small break, 2 pushes to a new high. It just looks like 2 legs up, that does, and then we start to kind of work. So, I think that looks okay to me, especially now I've looked at this. There is kind of 2 legs down here and a bullish bar, but I don't like any of this, to be honest with you. You may argue possible triple test if it triggers above there. I don't like it. It's below the EMA. Yeah. There's no guarantee that channel's right. I mean, it's clearly going up in some fashion, but I'm not confident enough to know where I think price is going at the moment. It is kind of working up, or it's sort of bouncing up in some shape or form, but you don't know whether it's going to come further down towards this side. So this is just doing nothing for me at the moment. So I'm just going to chuck this aside and just forget about it, or keep a slow eye on it. It's just doing nothing. Now, let me just see if there's anything else here. Maybe a spike in a channel. Trouble is, even if we got that, we've had a drop out the bottom and an overshoot. So, it's frustrating when it's like this. It's just kind of all over the place, isn't it? There's no real rhythm, is there? 2 legs up. Would you go short? Who knows? Is it coming down? Not a clue. We have kind of pushed down, and maybe we're bouncing on the underside of the overnight highs. That's just a guess, though, really, isn't it? Where price is, there is kind of a bit of support and resistance there, so maybe it'll go down, but it is a big maybe. I got no idea. We could have 2 moves down, and it might start to work higher. I've gone off that channel anyway. That one doesn't look too bad, but that's played out anyway. So leg down, another leg down. I don't flipping know where price is going at the moment. Could it be that? Who knows? Your guess is as good as mine. Thomas Wade saying we've retraced 60%. I'm still not a fan of that at the moment. I don't know. I've got it on this chart. Maybe it is, but I think that's pulled back a bit too much, really. It's quite a large pullback for a channel like that. You don't often get a pullback that much. I know someone may say it's around, 60 odd %, but the fact that it's pushed down below overnights, I don't know. I'm not taking a trade here. I'm not taking a short. I'm just staying out of this. What does that look like? It's not a million miles away, that one. Yeah. Will this come down? No idea. I know it's hit and miss, is it? It may do. The way it's working at the moment suggests that it may do, but I can't find nothing I really like to give me the confidence. I mean, it worked, but really, the first entry, second entry, it's a third entry, really, isn't it? Now, you may argue there's a little bit of a range there, but it's a bit weak, isn't it? So, I don't know. It's not obvious for me, really. Exactly. Got to wait for confirmation. Someone's taken a trade there. It's not the worst place in the world to short, is it? But I don't know what's happening exactly. I've given up on the fact that that's pulling back and going to push up. We've come down further now, so I'm not a massive fan. It looks a little better on this side than it does on the main chart. But it's not an easy looking chart today. There's not a huge amount of volume. It's very weak, isn't it? There's no real structure. It's just very stringy, isn't it, for want of a better word? It's just a bit all over the place, isn't it? It kind of just looks like it's been thrown out there. I mean, a couple of pushes up, 1, 2, 3 pushes up. I'd take that on an evaluation probably, because I dare say there's a fair chance that it would work, but on 20 accounts, I want something a little bit more clear than that. I mean, based on what I can see, we do look like we're looping down, but market's got a way of making you think that way, and all of a sudden you decide to jump in and it does the complete opposite. So, as you say, best thing to do is to wait for some kind of confirmation that what you're looking at is what you genuinely believe it to be. Otherwise, you just stay out of it. And that's one of the hardest things as a trader. Certainly, I found it hard. It doesn't bother me waiting now. It's annoying from times, but not annoying enough for me to, do something stupid. I just take it for what it is now. I've given up trying to battle with the markets. You're never going to win. You just have to sit back and wait for an offer, and that's it. You take it and move on. Your chart's different. Have you reloaded it, bud? Have you? I reloaded mine. You probably know, just in case you don't, just right click and click reload all historic data, and that kind of updates it. I did mine earlier. Once I've done it once, I'm using the web version. Interesting. I had a call from a Ninja Trader tech guy the other day. I was having problems getting it working. And I mentioned to him about the web version. He said it's quite a bit different. I didn't quite get what he was on about there. Different in what way? You think if it was a web version, it would work more or less the same. I don't know why the channel fits on the second chart. You're about down. I have given it a go. I mean, it does look like it's trying to. So, I mean, you might go from there. And then there's a break, or you could go from here, but then it looks a bit odd, doesn't it? I would probably be inclined to. That's probably about my best offering, but then it looks like we've had a break and a couple of pushes. If you take it up a bit, it's kind of missed everything else, so it's just, I don't know. If it's a bit weak, that I kind of have trust issues with it. I mean, you could say, we'll put it from there. It doesn't look terrible. I don't know. It's just a bit. The whole thing's weak, isn't it, at the moment? There's no real structure. Spike up at 1446. You know about that, aren't you? There. Have you got? Oh, assuming you've got the larger channel, have you? I mean, you can miss some of this out, can't you? But it's a bit much. If you do that, I don't know. Without that, it wouldn't look terrible. Did we have some news here? No, we didn't. It was further back, wasn't it? I don't know, mate, to be fair. Let me have a look, see if I can see any other charts. Yeah, I don't like having that spike, if that's what you're talking about. I would prefer to go somewhere along those lines. I don't know whether there's a little bit of a spike in the channel. I don't know. It's just not looking great, is it? Sometimes with a bit more price action, it kind of falls into place a little bit, but it's a bit awkward. Yeah, it's not ideal, is it? So if I take that from there, how does that fit there? It touches there, but then you're missing some of this. Not that it really matters so much. I mean, it's clearly working in it within those two lines in some kind of a fashion, isn't it? But then maybe you bring it down to here and then take that up a bit. That looks okay. If I bring that down, is that kind of in keeping with this bit? Maybe. It's not perfect, but it's all we got at the moment, isn't it? So I'm getting rid of that channel. Okay, it's weird, isn't it? We can have the same charts. Thomas Wade's it doesn't look too bad, that, does it? It doesn't use midlines, Thomas. I find them useful from time to time because if you're not sure about a channel, I mean, if you're looking at this, you can clearly see it's using that, but maybe it is that. Let's have a look. That doesn't look terrible, does it? How's the midline? It's a bit all over the midline, isn't it? Oh, well, perhaps I should just shut up moaning about it. I've got the best of both worlds here anyway. I've got that one there and I've got this one here, so. So there is going to be liquidity there, as we can clearly see. So maybe as we've broken overnight highs quite quickly and yesterday's highs as well, we've actually broke yesterday's lows as well. We came down, broke yesterday's lows, pushed up yesterday's highs. So are we going to find this area? There'll be liquidity. We've had two legs down, big, strong, higher low, two legs back. So there's bound to be liquidity in this area. So hopefully if we get a couple of moves up, it's going to hit that. I think it's already hit it, hasn't it? I think it might have done. Looks like it has to me. Yeah, buy tick. Not well. I mean, if you were buying there, would you put you put it a little bit lower? I'm guessing, wouldn't you? It's probably gone anyway now. It's a shame I wasn't here there. I'd have jumped all over that. Clear pushes. Everything that's pushing below is closing on that line nice and neatly. As soon as that oil news comes out in 20 minutes, I'll get rid of that. It's in the way a little bit, isn't it? Okay. Right to the tick. Is this going to continue down or are we going to move up? Okay, so we pushed right the way through that quite easily. I thought that would struggle a bit, but I mean, we just launched straight through it there, and it looks like we're a few ticks away from overnight lows as well. It moved down there quite easily, didn't it? Usually it struggles a bit. We had a little bit of sideways, but I think that bar had broken below there. There we go. Look, no problem, slicing straight through that with ease. Disco, how you doing, buddy? Thomas Wade's just said we got an overshoot. Slightly. This thing doesn't seem to want to stop, does it? What we got down here? So we got, when was that? Monday? Monday's lows down here. I dare say there'll be liquidity around here. We're not far away from there. The trouble is, you can't really keep going short there, really, can you? You never know how far it's going to go down before it decides it wants to turn. So we got another little channel with a break and a new low. You're done for the day. Make dinner. Go with the kids to go skiing. Where are you at the moment? I'm guessing somewhere with a lot of snow. Skiing, eh? I haven't been skiing for years. Don't know if my knees could take it now. I know my niece is skiing at the moment. Well, snowboarding in Japan. Oh, of course you are, Sweden. Of course you are. Yeah, of course you are. Winter Olympics are on at the moment as well, aren't they? I've been watching little snippets of it. I used to love watching sort of winter sports. I remember years ago, I always used to watch Ski Sunday in the UK. In fact, it was what kind of convinced me to go over and work in a ski resort. I did for a few months when I was 21. Started in Austria and then went into France. Shh. Something nice about snow, isn't there? Okay, so I expect price to pull back here and clear that top line. There are sellers there. Now, would I want to sell there? I don't know, really. I don't know. I initially had it there, which meant that was an overshoot. But what's he barking? What's she barking at? I don't know whether there's something wider there. It's not a very good chart, is it? Volume's low. It's just, there's no real obvious structure, is it? It's all a bit hit and miss. Way to have my laptop in my van and my PC at home show the same chart drawings. Strange question, but is there a way to have my laptop in my van and my PC at home show the same chart drawings? Are you on about just showing a chart like this? I suppose so. You're not talking to the most tech-savvy person here. I'm better with hardware than software. There's bound to be a way, I think, isn't there? Save this workspace. There you go, Richard. Richard's the tech guy. Okay, I expect a little leg up in a minute. There are sellers here, and there are sellers a little bit further up. Now, is this really an overshoot? Or is there something wider? I got no idea, really. I've brought that down to the bottom. See if it makes a difference. That's where I initially had it. In fact, let's leave it there for a minute. And then down some more, 29 tick bar, quick rush down. This is going to be one of them days, I think. News, 12 minutes, oil news. I wonder how long it's going to be before you're just going to lay on your bed with a set of goggles on and go short here. Everything's going AI now. I got to say, AI blows me away. I tend to use ChatGPT and Gemini I use. It's amazing what AI can do nowadays and so quickly. It's incredible, really, how quick it is. I mean, most of us, we're kind of, it's not been long since we're doing a Google search, which gives you the kind of most basic information. I mean, we got an Alexa in the house. I'm pretty sure you US guys have got Alexas with AI now. We haven't got them in the UK, but I believe they're coming this year. Half the time you ask Alexa something and it says it doesn't know what you're talking about, basically. But AI is phenomenal, really. And we're only really scratching the surface of what it's capable of. But it's amazing, isn't it? You can't bear thinking about what it's going to be like in 20 years. I'm just waiting for one of these affordable female robots so I can get rid of my wife then. So one of these female robots will cook and clean for me. Maybe a few extras. That's the way the world's going to go. I mean, really, some of these female-looking robots are stunning. In some cases, why would you want the hassle of having a wife? It doesn't make sense, does it? It's going to be a different world in not so long, isn't it? It's going to be a different world. Okay, so Thomas Wade has brought this down. I was just thinking, when I was saying those words, is Karina in the background? I'm about to get a mouthful, but I don't think she is. I mean, some of these, with AI and that, you've got a beautiful looking robot. You can even, whatever sort of size and age you want. They'll cook and clean for you, amongst other things. It's like having the perfect wife, isn't it, really? But one that doesn't age, or one that doesn't say no. Wife joins the stream. It'll go that way, won't it? It'll go that way. It will. It'll go that way. You could order the perfect wife online. Amazing. Amazing. Put me on the list. You could just say what you want for tea every night. She'd be there waiting for you. All dolled up, never aging. You wouldn't have to spend any money on face creams or makeups. Just lots of nice underwear. It'd be amazing. I think they are available. They probably cost an arm and a leg, though. Why do you think I'm trying to earn some money at trading? Exactly. The trouble is with wives, as nice as they are, there's always problems. Nothing's ever perfect, is there? I shouldn't say that, really. There's bound to be some decent wives out there, isn't there? I'm only joking, by the way. All sorts of nutters who tried to legally marry fantasy. I dare say there is. It is a different world nowadays, isn't it? I know even some of the odd stuff when my daughter was at school. She's 17 now. She didn't long leave school, but yeah, I want to identify as this 1 week or that. It's just got mental, isn't it? What happened to men and women, and that's the end of it. Life was simple back then. It's so complicated now, isn't it? You don't know who you're offending nowadays, do you? Well, when we got below here, I thought this might bounce, but this thing, for me, look how nice it's working along that underside. This thing just wants to keep going down. Trouble is, same again with the scenario going up. If I'm going to trade a channel like this, I'd rather it be this side. It just feels a bit unnatural about trading here because you never know when it's going to decide to trigger you and then push up to the other side. So it's another one of those quite bearish days with no real way of getting in. We got a move there. There's, well, I mean, that bar there, I certainly wouldn't want to be buying there. If I bought that, I'd expect it to get stopped out, which it did. So would you consider that a high or low? It's not far off, is it? It's a bit of a channel down with a break, but it's quite tight and compact, so I don't know. As I say, I'd expect that to get stopped out all day long, especially when you get a bar like that. So it never triggered, unfortunately, but when it did, it pushed down quite comfortably. Channel up with a break, maybe a new high, lower high. I just couldn't take that. The fact that it worked is irrelevant, but going short into the longs there and into the bottom of this channel just feels a bit too risky for me. It's got to get back here, really, at least tight to that EMA or over to this side. Well, I wonder how long it's going to be before the US and Israel decide to do something with Iran. I don't think it's going to be long, is it? I got to say, it's always amazed me. Now, don't get me wrong. The regime there is absolutely shocking the way it treats its citizens. So, for that reason, regime change, I think, is a must. But it's weird. It's always amazed me how one country can say to another, "You can't have nuclear weapons, but we can." It's a bit weird, isn't it? You know, none of them have it, or you all have it. But Not that I'd want a country like that to have nuclear weapons after seeing how it treats its citizens, but it's weird, isn't it? It's an odd one. But I think they need regime change, don't they? I mean, they've slaughtered thousands of their own just for protesting. It's you can't really let it happen, can you? In this day and age, something's got to happen. It's got to be changed. I think they've got the ideal opportunity now with the hardware they've got out there, and by the sounds of things, Israel are more than willing to be involved. So I think if there's going to be a regime change, now's the ideal time. So I know they flat out said there's no negotiations on enriched uranium and so on and so forth. So there only seems to be one conclusion. All you can do is hope there is minimal civilian casualties. There are always going to be. But let's hope it's quick. And there is minimal suffering. It's always the kids that seem to suffer, isn't it? The innocent ones who can't do it themselves. Okay, now, would I continue? Now, don't get me wrong, it is working down there quite nice, and there is a second entry short, and it may well push down. The issue I have here, it's looking a little bit sideways now, and whenever it does that, trading becomes a little bit more risky. So I'm already not a fan of trading off that centre line into the bottom half of this two-tiered channel. But this now puts me off because this looks not so much more of a bottoming pattern, but a loss of momentum. So I wouldn't be shocked if price starts to move up. Now, it may pop up above all this, maybe clear some liquidity and come down, but I'm already not a fan of trading in that lower section. So you've just got to give this a little space. So it is doing what I expected. I mean, it would technically be a second entry short here, but you've got to give this a bit of space. Let's have a look at the 10,000 tick chart and see how we feel about that. Okay, so there's the 10,000 tick chart. So it's fitting quite nice there. We've got a break of it here, I think, how I've got it drawn anyway. It's weird, isn't it? Okay, we got some more news in 1 minute, so once we, in fact, I can get rid of that now, can't I? It's just a bit in the way, isn't it? There we go. So, oil news, 45 seconds, so there's nothing on the chart I'm looking at anyway. I mean, we're clearly working down. It looks kind of neat, doesn't it? Obviously, the more price action working down here, the more kind of trustworthy it is. But you never know when it's going to decide to break this and possibly test the overnight lows. Is this the time? We've come down and we've kind of had a move up and we've zigzagged down. But here, we're going sideways, so... Oh, someone's gone short there. I've got no bar here on either of my charts. What's he got? Okay, on his chart, it looks okay, actually, because he's got a nice big bull bar here in the middle of nowhere. I'll show you that. That looks okay, doesn't it? Nice big higher low there, which triggered. I wouldn't want to go long there. I'd expect to get stopped out, which is why I think it pushed down. Wilson, shush. What you barking at? What you barking at, eh? So push down, there is a lower high, not interested, I don't like it. The move's already gone really and we're getting close to the lows, and is this doing this? I think it may be. Come on. Boy. Okay, oil news is done and dusted. Didn't really do much. Let's have a look. I think we had a little shove down, a quick bar, but that was it really. Okay, let's see what happens here. It does kind of look bottom in here, so I would probably would guess we're going to get a break here. It does look like 2 legs up, so we may not, but I think we will. So sellers there. Some sellers at 45, which is there. Actually, we're there now, I think. We're on them now, I think. Let's get rid of that. It's going to hit that, I think. Okay, so we're getting what looks like a little break here. Sellers at 50 and sellers at 60. So 60 would clear out any of this lot up here. So let's have a look. Now that break is too low to go short there. It's too small of a break to consider going short. If that does push down now, then this channel's larger. So there is 2 legs up with a bearish bar. If that does continue down, then there's a wider channel here. And I don't think there's a wider channel because I've gone from there to... I can't make that any tighter. That's as good as I can get. So there is a lower high there, but I think that's super risky because it's a tiny break. Thomas Wade's looking for a lower high. There is 2 legs up here, but for me, it's going to push higher. There are sellers up here and sellers up here, liquidity here and a bunch up here. So for me, this is going to push up higher. Fortunately, Thomas Wade didn't get a lower high, so he didn't get into a trade, but a lower high there is super dangerous. Okay, we're going to hit some sellers here. There's 200 contracts there. There's some at 55 and there's some at 60. With the size of that channel down, I wouldn't be shocked if price does get up here. It may not. There is liquidity here, but we'll see. Overnight highs here, so it may. It's hard to say. So, tell a lie, let's put that up. So, sellers there, sellers there. There is liquidity around here, so so I would probably expect or like somewhere along those lines would be nice. Okay, I'm going to put that back. This is what I expect. Maybe it's like this, somewhere along those lines. Okay, I'm just going to take it. This is going to be finicky around when it sort of sorts itself out. So I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break, make a quick cup of tea while it sorts itself out, and I'll be back. Okay, leg up. We're going to get this second move up. So, sellers have gone there. There are more up there. Is that going to get hit, or is this going to work its way down? It's hard to say. We've tested the overnight overnight lows. Is this moving down? I wouldn't be too quick to jump on this personally. I don't necessarily think this is finished. Moving up a little bit, it could go a little bit higher. So a couple of moves up. There's bound to be some sellers jumping in there, which is not looking good, especially the size of the bar. It's over 20 ticks. Yeah, it's a fair risk, that is. Someone said second entry short on the 10,000 tick chart. I wouldn't be happy if I went short there. What's that looking like? Trouble is, you can see there are a big chunk of sellers at 60. And where is 60? Above that bear bar. So you may argue by the count it's a second entry short. That looks more like a channel to me. So if you went short there, I think that's going to backfire. Yeah, Thomas Way's just literally posted that. There's the 10,000 tick chart. So you can't really take that, to be fair. If you did, it's going to... I'll be amazed if that doesn't push above there. So for an overall picture, it's looking like we haven't finished going higher yet. Now, I do expect price to come down and retest it, so you never quite know how high it's going to go before sellers, maybe aggressive sellers, decide this is high enough, and this is where I want to go short. But just going to have to sit and watch this. Cup of tea. Caught a solid second entry wrong right there. Yeah, so, I mean, I certainly think going short there is a little bit premature. So the second entry long I don't think is a bad trade. Would I take it personally? Not really. That's just me, purely because we've got a big, strong move down and you never quite know when price is going to decide, okay, now we're going to move down. Would I take up the valuation? Absolutely. The trouble is we've kind of had two moves up, so you never quite know what's going to happen here. But it clearly worked, and it was a second entry long. And, price does look like it's moving up currently. Yeah, I mean, it's clearly a second entry long. As I say, when I saw that bear bar there, I wouldn't have taken that bear bar. If I'd have took that with that moving, I'd have expected to be stopped out, and it's exactly what it did. So whenever I take a trade, I always like to see that I'm trapping traders in the opposite direction, because that gives it a lot more momentum. And there was, 3 points to there, in fact, probably a bit more. If you went a tick above it, for me, that would have worked just to the top of that. But, I always like to trap traders in the opposite direction. I mean, someone said the other day there's not such thing as trap traders. It doesn't mean you can't get out of a trade. It just means, really, that you've decided to go short when price is continuing to work up at the moment. Well, I mean, from a Pat's point of view, we've got to move down with a break. At some point, I think it's likely to move down, but I don't think that's the time. It's not much of a break, really. The bigger these channels down, the bigger the break, really. You know, smaller channels, small break. You know, little channel like that, small break, push down. Obviously, the bigger the channel. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be thinking of shorting there for certain. Sometimes these bigger channels will piss around for 15 or 20 minutes in all sorts of directions before it eventually goes. They're harder to time right, I think these are. You know, if we get to the 50% and it clears a load of liquidity and then starts to head south, then, you know, you got half a chance. But sometimes it'll just chop, 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 and then it'll just decide to go. You know what I mean? It looks like it's working down. I'm still not convinced that it won't push up again and have another leg. A couple of times I've had something like that. You never know whether it's going to do something like this or whether that's more here. And it did this, but it may just go down. But my experience is the bigger the channel, the more it pisses around before eventually it ends up deciding to test the lows. But I'm always suspicious when it's doing this, really. It's not very clear. On the left chart, there does look like some kind of a channel, so we've got a break. That may play out with a new high, or it could just come down. I would have much preferred it to clear any liquidity here. The next batch of liquidity is a lot higher up. I think it's less likely. A lot of the time it'll clear an area and then, you know, how many times has it flushed down, stop you out, and then end up going bloody up, you know, where you expected it to. So for me, I'm always looking left where I expect it to clear. That the lower high there, or push down, whatever you want, cleared. We had two pushes, so it could go down, but I'm always suspicious. I wouldn't be wanting to short this just at the moment. I'd want to give it a little bit of space. Frustrating as it is. But if there is a channel, like on the left chart, it could push up and make a new high, in which case it's likely to clear liquidity. And there are sellers here. Look where the sellers are. 57. There's 477 contracts. Where? One tick above that bar. So there's another reason why I wouldn't want to go short, because there are sellers. And not only that, there's even more sellers at 60. And then if you look there, where is 60? If I can move the damn chart, 60 is above that bit of liquidity. So just for that reason, it's too early to get into a trade here. And look, as we're speaking, price is starting to push up. Now, it may go nowhere and continue to rush down. Sometimes it does. You know, markets are frustrating sometimes. They go where you kind of expect them to go, but half the time they don't give you an opportunity to follow. And it's just kind of like the way it is, which is just a pain in the arse in it. But there we go. Third test, yeah, granted, but it's not high enough to test this for me. And like I say, what I like about this is there's 491 contracts where that line is. What does that tell you? Price moves towards liquidity. I think there's a fair chance that it pushes up. For me, this isn't an area to short at the moment. Shorting is up here with the rest of them. So for me, with those 492 orders, one tick above there, for me, it's 9 times out of 10 it's going to hit there, which rules out a short to me straight away. Not that there's an entry there anyway. So if you look left, there may be a channel there, but that is playing out. So if that channel plays out and we push above to these sellers, that's probably gone high enough. I would prefer there. And then I would like to see some kind of strong rejection. But while it's doing this, really, you've got to give it some space and let it clear out any previous liquidity and then kind of see how it reacts once it's done that. So it's hit them big orders there. So those 490 odd contracts have now been taken. There are... Have they been? Yeah, it's a few seconds, but it's about 4 seconds behind. And now you've got aggressive buyers just jumping in there, double the amount of aggressive buyers. And that is the line in the sand to me there. we've broken above that liquidity now. So you see how I've had these two legs? I was kind of right in my thought process. I expected a little bit more than just that. Now, you never know. It may pull back a little bit and continue on up. But I think now it's gone high enough that if it's going to test the lows, this is probably where it's going to do it from. We've made from there a nice clear measured move up. We've cleared any liquidity. The next lot of liquidity really is maybe here, but quite likely further up. So I think it's done enough. So if this thing is going to come down test the lows, I think it's not going to go up much further before that's when it happens. But we'll see. I've been known to be wrong. So there may be another little micro here. So we've actually had a little break and a new. We've had a break and a new high in one go there. So if this thing is going to turn, this is when I'd expect it to happen. So 50% levels there. So that's the line in the sand for me. The trouble is, there's no real reason for it to go any higher. If you want to looking for a place to sell, this would be it for me when it's cleared all previous liquidity and made a measured move as well. That's usually the good indicator. You know, people generally know the price. You know, by now it tends to move in legs, and a leg up with a couple of attempts to go line, another leg up. So for me, this is where it would turn. So there is a 50%. You know, some people drop orders at 50%, don't they? We'll see. See what happens. But you never know. Just some days you just get things just keeps going up. I don't think it will though. So that channel's now played out, and you can see we've had that measured move. There are a few buyers there, not enough to do any damage, I don't think. But there are sellers further up around the 67 and 70, so... off the lows of the day. You mean like the one on my left? I don't think there's a larger one. It just doesn't look right to me. No. Do you know what? After such a big move down, it's quite shallow, and that could even resemble a bear flag. If there's an overshoot there, that's another reason why this thing may go down there. Not a massive fan of it. That one I can see that works and pushes a new high, but I'm not a massive fan of that. Let's see what happens here. Anyone looking for a lower high? Not me. Not yet. break new high. There is possibly a failure. I just don't like it at the moment. It's a bit sideways. Sure would like to short this. I mean, it's not looking like a channel up to me. My guess is it's probably going to come down and test the lows. But just at the moment, while it's doing that, it's not clear for me. You know, based on what I can see, my, initial instinct is that it's going to come down and test the lows. It's not hit the 50% level yet, but we've clearly had 2 moves up. We've had that measured leg plus a few extra ticks for good measure. Looks kind of like a triple test, but I'm just not ready to go short yet. You never know, it may drop out the bottom and continue up for another leg. There's always that possibility. There are buyers at 60. So if this thing drops out, you never quite know. Okay, so that's it, those buyers. Now, most breakouts fail. I'm not saying this one will. I still believe price is going to test these lows. But it may chop around a bit more before it eventually does. So channel break new high, multiple attempts to go higher, and we seem to push down. So is this the way down now? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. It's weird, you do nothing, price comes down, you decide to get and it triggers you, stops you out. You're damned if you do and damned if you don't. I've given up trying to second guess these things. I wait for an offer and take it. Apart from that, I just let it alone now. It's just, I've given into the, I've stopped giving into the, oh, it looks like this, let's do this type of scenario. Most of the time it doesn't end well. So sellers at 60, which is interesting. Sellers at 60, you can see there's 200 contracts there. So if we had two little legs up, in other words, possibly looking like it may fail, and then we make a move down. So this is looking like it's likely to continue down. And the fact that we've got 200 odd contracts for sell there is encouraging. That's telling me there are other traders thinking about shorting there, and we have a channel down with a break. What do we do after that? We usually make a new low, which is downwards. So it's a fair move up, that is, really. We've had a leg up there with a correction, another leg, a little bit of chop, cleared out a good chunk of important liquidity. So we'll see what happens. Right, there's about 650 contracts between here and the underline there, which is a fair chunk. So there's 60 and a fraction under. So let's call it 61. So between these two lines there, in other words, testing the underside, there's about 640 contracts for sell, which is good. Let's have a look. Okay, some of them have just disappeared. This thing doesn't... Well, we've had a channel break. We've made a new low already. Right, those have just disappeared as well. That's a pain in the arse. Channel break, new low. There is a failure there, but it's not a very good one. Second entry long bars now. You're not going to trap traders there, really, although it's triggered above it. It's better on this side. Second entry long trigger. The trouble is, taking a short trade there, it's congested. And it's not close enough to that EMA. I would want it to push above that bar there, really, and have a look. There's a bit of a double trap there. Shorts triggered, longs triggered. I'd prefer it to push up, take that stop out, and then immediately reverse. Because we have technically had a break in a new low already. Jimmy, how you doing, buddy? I'm well. So there's the failure. Second entry long triggered. I just don't like it. All failures aren't created equally. That's a little bit chopping, a bit unclear. I'd have much preferred it to push up there and then finish quite bearish. It's going to stop that out, no doubt about it for me. A leg and a... Oh, sorry about that. Leg and a leg. I wouldn't want to be going along there. It'll have a little drop in a minute. He says famous last words. There we go. Okay, some buyers at 52. So if you took that long, second entry long, triggered you, came down, messed around a bit, but did stop you out. And that's why I wouldn't take it. It's on its way back up. It's not clear. It's a bit messy. Just want to stay out of that. It's not instilling any confidence. So this is interesting. So we've had this leg down with some kind of correction. What have we got down here next? I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up with a second leg down. I wouldn't be shocked in the slightest. Wow, look at that thing just take off. Any liquidity there, any stops there. Look at that. No, I didn't expect that. Crikey. Suddenly I understand nothing. I know you're feeling, mate. I know the feeling. I don't think there's anything larger there. It just doesn't look right to me. I still think there's a good chance it's going to come down. It's not pushed up. This just not looking like a channel, is it? We've had a bit of a push up and a couple of pushes down, and it looks like a couple of legs up. But it's not a good trading channel this to go higher, is it? It's trying and failing, in my opinion. So I still think this is a good chance this comes down. It has pushed up and cleared any previous liquidity there. I still think this is coming down, personally. There's nothing else that looks like a move up to me. It just doesn't look right. But you can't trade it like that. You just have to trade what you're seeing at the moment. It's just a right bloody mess. Yeah, it's just hard to say, isn't it? See, looking at the 10,000 tick chart, sort of seeing a bigger overall picture. That channel fits nice to me. Now, there isn't a break really in a new low. There is the keep it tight. We've got a channel down there. There's two pushes up. Those pushes up are quite tight together. I much prefer them when they're kind of more broad, that type of split apart. You can't really confuse them for a channel then. That I suppose you could. It just doesn't look right to me. So I still think this is going to come down. Now, if we use the fib tool and draw that from the highs to the lows, you know, we're coming up to the 50%. So, you know, a lot of cases, that's where it'll turn. Who knows? Sometimes you just get days like this where they just mess around all day and don't really go where you expect. But I don't know. Who knows? We got a channel there with a break. We got two legs. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to shut up. I don't know what's going on at the moment. It just doesn't look like a channel up to me. Speed up a bit, for God's sake. Okay, so we are coming into the realm of sellers here. So between 70 and 72 are the strongest. So there's 70. 72. I'm guessing this is that. You can see how that's playing a part there, can't you? Bouncing there, bouncing there. I bet if we go back, not so much. I wouldn't be shocked if that was around that 50% level. Let's have a go. Yeah, right around it. So if it doesn't turn down here, I'm going home. I've had enough. Come on, turn down here. I can't see what looks like a trend to me. I don't know. It's just I don't like it. Nothing else I think I can see that fits nice. Not at the moment. Gosh, just slides it when it's like this. Slow grind. No clear direction. Trouble is, yeah, it's moving up at the moment. You don't know whether it's going to continue up or whether it's going to turn. So it's kind of in that area where you've got to give it a little bit of space. It's not moving up like a confident trend. It's very jagged and not clear. But it does seem to be working up in some form. But the trouble is, the one time you decide to go long, the thing's just going to dump. It's just kind of how it works, isn't it? But I am tired, actually. I didn't go to bed till about 5 o'clock this morning. I just could not sleep for some reason. So I've had about 4 hours at a push, I think. So I'm a bit tired anyway. Someone else mentioned it before. It's funny how this chat has a 99% win rate. People only say after they want to trade. It's always a way, isn't it? That's always a way. I mean, I've been watching Marco and Dan put their chart on the Facebook group for nearly 5 years now, and I've never seen them put a losing trade on. I know Marco's had losers, he's told me. But I know people feel embarrassed about it. It's part of the reason I like Thomas Wade. He's, it's it doesn't seem to worry him, which I think's a strong point. I think people think it's a weakness if you lose trade. No one likes to lose trades. You don't want to give money back. But I don't know why, people get embarrassed about it. Trouble is, if I mean, for the first couple of years of trading, I put my chart on every day, winners and losers, and I don't mind, because if people think I'm winning trades, people think you don't need help. But if I'm losing trades, then maybe someone could shed light on as to why I lost them at the time. So it's important, really. Don't be shy about showing your losers to people, because someone might give you a tip that might kind of stop it. You're one for one for the day. That's not a bad effort, to be fair. All I do is I very rarely take 2 trades. Very rarely. I mean, I rarely take one trade a day at the moment, but 1 trade a day, if you can get 1 good setup a day, you can make all the money you need. You really can. So I wouldn't be in a rush. I mean, I saw Wilson mark something the other day. He took 10 trades. It makes sense, does it? Problem is, if you're taking that much trades, think of all those emotions. They're not good setups, so just think of all the nerves and emotions when you're doing them. They lead to bad things, really. You're much better to wait for a good setup and then just commit to it. And you've made the right decision then. If it loses, then you've got something to learn. Now, are we now finally getting a move to the downside? About bloody time if we are. Let me just double check that. So let's put that right on the top. I can adjust that a fraction. Come down a wee bit. So yeah, those sellers there that were right around that 50, look at the reaction we're getting from there now. So it may come back here and bounce, you never know, but my guess is the way that's reacting, we've had 12, 13, 15 points in 3 bars. So that is selling at the moment. So that's the strongest selling we've had. It was stronger than there, stronger than there, stronger than there. So hopefully, now if it bounces here and goes up above price, then I might start to think about opposite direction. But I can't get anything that I think it's only really hit it once. It doesn't look terrible, but it's not filling me full of confidence either. So we'll see what happens. Thomas Wade's a decent bloke. He's a nice, friendly, polite guy. He doesn't get involved in the chat much. He just gets his head down and does his job. That's what I like about him. And he's got no problem showing you his losses. How many times have we mentioned about, as good as Mac is, he could potentially have so much more to give if he was thinking along the right lines. You've got to discuss losing trades. Losing trades is a part of it. Yes, when you get better, you'll lose less because you'll take less. But especially if you're a newer trader, that's when your emotions are at your worst. That's when you need to be discussing losses, because people need to know you are gonna lose trades. Everyone loses them now and again. Yes, with time, when you get better, you'll lose less. But Thomas Wade, it kind of humanizes people. And it's the one thing Max always skipped. For the life of me, I don't know why. I was talking the other day and someone said to me, it makes me feel better you're talking about losses and emotions and stuff, because it's such an important part of trading that you have to kind of get to grips with. But Mac kind of side skirts that for some reason and just avoids it. Perhaps it's because, I'd expect to take very little trades if I've been trading 25 years, and perhaps he's that kind of doing things his own way, and he just can't sort of see he can't kind of see past the end of his own nose, so to speak. He's experienced, he's been doing it years, and, maybe he's forgotten what it's like. I don't know, who knows? But no, especially as a newer trader, you will take losses. It's how you learn. So you need to, understand that it's okay. They are great lessons, losses. They don't feel like it all the time. And that's usually because people are risking money or risking too much. And then they're more painful then. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe if you're losing money, you listen a bit more, you try a bit harder, maybe. I don't know. You know, it's like, I suppose, you go down to the gym. You can go down to the gym and lift weights all the time, can't you? But if you're not lifting enough weights and you're not stressing your body, you're not really going to grow. So I don't know, maybe losing money gets you more engaged. Who knows? So now, I still think this is like the comeback, and the way it's moving up, it's not a confident channel to me, but I'm still very cautious about this because it is still working up, so you never quite know what's on the agenda there. Matt told me if it took him 4 years to become Matt told me it took him 4 years to become profitable. There's hope for us yet. Well, there you go. And I'll tell you something, Mac did it a long time ago. There was a lot more setups back then. It's a lot harder today. Risks a lot higher. So, yeah, absolutely. See, those are the kind of things you want to hear when you've been doing it 3 years and think you're behind. And then you hear someone like Mac say it took him 4 years, then you're thinking, oh, okay, then, yeah, that's fine. But he never talks about stuff like that, which... it's surprising if you talk about your struggles, how it really helps people. It helps put their things in, you know, their problems into perspective. It's a shame he doesn't really, because he certainly wouldn't do it on purpose, because he's such a nice, genuine bloke. It would really help people, but perhaps he just doesn't see it, you know. The loss is tuition. Absolutely. If you're finding it really painful, it's likely because you're risking too much. But you try telling newer traders that. I wouldn't have listened. I knew best. You know what I mean? I can't tell how many people said to me, you know, calm down on your risk, and I just didn't listen. You know, I suppose we all think we know better, don't we? But you learn in time. You do learn. So there's bound to be liquidity below there. Now, although this is working up, it's very messily. Messy? Is messily a word? I can't think now. Anyway, it's not doing it. It's messy, isn't it? Messy. You know what I'm saying? Now, channel down here, there is two little legs up. To train your central nervous system. I think I've stressed mine. I don't think mine's ever going to recover. I'm going to make a little video about this. Whenever I say it on the stream, people do say it makes them feel better. So I might make a couple of little videos, or start making a few. Okay. Now, there is a second entry short there. How do I feel about that? The issue I have, it is making higher highs and higher lows. So, although I still think there's a possibility, and I've been caught out with this before, I've been that convinced price has to come down. I've been looking for any single short way in. But these days, I'm always aware that although I think it's going to come down, I still could be wrong. It still may not. So we've got a move down there. There is a second entry short, but that could be a short trap because price is working up. So I always avoid it and maybe wait for the lower high, and you'll save yourself a loss then. If you get a lower high, then there's a good chance price is going to come down. If it does start eating out stops like that and that'll help the momentum. So if it breaks above this and comes down, who knows? So would I want to go short there if it breaks below there? Trouble is, it may stop below there, but is it going to have the legs to get down below there? That's what concerns me. Okay, so it's broke below there. I'm still not ready to go short just yet, because it may turn on you. There's strong buy in there, although I still think this is coming down. The safer option is to wait, I think. It is working by the looks of things. We've got a channel there with a break, soon pushes to a new high, but you never quite know. It may snap back and scare you. And there you go. There's the reason why. Push down, stop that out. Came down looking like it was moving. Now it's pulling back. So now I'm looking at congestion. So there's trap traders here, short traders here, and long traders here. Now we have had a move down. We've pushed twice up to the MA. I'd still like to think price is going to come down, but I'm not. You know, I'm not that much of a know-it-all that I think there's a good chance I could be wrong. You've got to be open-minded. So the lower high looks like it is working for 12 ticks. It's not far off. I thought the best thing is to leave here, because if there's strong buy in there, you never quite know who's going to win over. So if you'd have gone short a tick below there, I wouldn't have been out yet. I'd have been short a tick, and now look at it. So you've got to be really careful around here. There's some traps. Long traders there. We got a big strong bull bar there. Another high low which pushed up. It actually went 2 or 3 points. So it may just pull back, and other buyers will get in. See, it's getting very trappy now. I don't know what. Sometimes, I mean, a lot of this now is down to aggressive buyers and sellers. If it comes below there, I think the thing will launch down. But I don't really want to get in here. There is a failure. Trouble is, when price got below there, it retraced. So I don't want the same to happen. Get in here for 12 ticks. It comes down, ticks below the bottom and retraces. But now it's stacking up here, so I'm just sitting tight. So, okay, there's the answer. Straight above that one there. I'll be shocked if it doesn't go above there as well. So if you took that lower high, it wouldn't have worked. Well, it wouldn't have worked for me. I'd be a tick or two short, and then I'd have got stopped out. So it's a little bit congested here, and there's a little bit of uncertainty as to where price is going. I'm still not convinced price isn't going to come down. So we got a channel down on the left chart, 2 attempts to push up, a lower high. I still think there's a chance this is going to come down. But am I confident enough to trade it? Not really. We've pushed up to just above that 50% level and pulled back nice and strong. We've come down 5, 10, 15, 20 points. Maybe this is 2 attempts to push up and it's going to drop. Who knows? Who in the hell knows? It just doesn't look right to me, a channel. It's only really touched once. Well, maybe twice. There you go. Maybe it is then. I'm always kind of open-minded. I never just assume anything nowadays. I used to. Now, was there a long trade there anyway? Not really. I wouldn't have taken that one. There's nothing you could take long there anyway. Over on this side, maybe. But look, it's stacking up there. You never quite know who's going to give in. There is a second entry long here, but there's not much room to the highs here. So, Who knows? Does it look any better on here? Yeah. Yeah, I never try and assume anything anymore. I used to, and it used to get me in trouble. So I know what I think, but I trade what I can see. Oh, I'm going to the gym tonight for the first time for about 5 months. I'm just starting to feel a little bit sedentary. I spend about 4 hours a day sat my arse doing this, and I don't do a great deal else, really. I do the shopping, I run the Hoover around and tidy up, empty and load the dishwasher, cook the meals and stuff, but apart from that, I'm not very active at the moment, so... last time I went to the gym, mid part of last year, I overdid. I hadn't been for a while. I overdid it and was doing some tricep presses and ended up having a little tweak in my shoulder, so I had to stop. So I'm going to start a little bit lighter. Older you get, you got to go in a little bit slower. So I'm going to start going to the gym 3-4 times a week. Start lifting some weights. Helps get rid of some frustration, and it is better for you as well. The older you get, it's good for your bones. You know, it helps with your keeping your bones nice and strong. I know we got osteoporosis in my family, so my mother had it, so lifting weights will help that. Not that I have any problems at the moment. I'd rather get in there and do something useful before I get to that stage. It's good for your mental health, isn't it? Good for your all-round stuff, so absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I did do some training years ago for a couple of years, so yeah. I mean, I've done dumbbells before where I couldn't even touch my face, and I've had pillars under each arm, so yeah, I mean, there's nothing more painful than biceps and triceps if you overdo it. They're by far the most painful. You know, I've worked legs since I can hardly walk down the stairs, but biceps and triceps, if you really overdo them, they're painful and they throb. And as I say, I haven't been able to touch my face in the past, so I'm going to go extra slow and just go nice and steady over the first few weeks. Once you've worked them 2, 3, 4 times, you can increase a little bit, can't you? It's just getting that initial. Now, are you actually really going up, or are you now going to move down? I just don't like the channel. It's just, it doesn't look like a confident, smooth channel. Perhaps it's just me stuck in my ways. Popcorn, yeah. I have to go steady on one of my shoulders. I've had a couple of those steroid injections, what they call cortisol injections, something like that. I did a little bit of, well, I had some physio a bunch of years ago. I was doing behind the neck press. Behind the neck press don't suit everyone because obviously you're opening up, and I had a little bit of a tweak on my shoulder. And I think the guy said it's something to do with the rotary cuff. So I had a couple of injections over a few years in the back of the right shoulder, I think it was. So I do a bit easy, but yeah, obviously the older you get, they do tend to crunch and crack a little bit, don't they? But I'll just go nice and easy. We've got a 24-hour gym literally a mile and a half from my front door, so it's ideal, and it's cheap as well. It's about $17.99 a month £8, so it's cheap actually for 24 hours. And it's right across the road from a McDonald's, so it's win-win. Yeah, I mean, once we get up so far, for me, this was kind of the line in the sand. And then when we had this big pullback, I'm thinking, okay, maybe it's going to move down. You know, it was a fair old channel down, to be fair, but sometimes it just doesn't work. Or we may come back here later, and we may be down here somewhere, so you never quite know. But I used to be constantly looking for ways to get in short because, you know, I was convinced it had to go short. But from experience and losing trades, you know, trying to do that, I'm always aware that things are not always what they seem. And although, you know, the natural sort of process of these, you know, trends is usually when they have a break, usually they'll try and retest. Now, in a sense, they did make 3 efforts to come down, so you never quite know when things are going to change. But we may come back here, you know, later in the day, and we may really have just had, if we end up here and then down here a bit, it's more or less a range day, so you never quite know where and when things are going to bounce. So I'm always open-minded now, and I know what I think. But I trade what I know and what I can trust, so I'm always kind of aware. But the scenery is nice, yeah, absolutely. It's full of women out your league. That's what you're saying. I always found exercising boring. I did karate for 17 or 18 years because I always found exercise boring. You know, I did a little bit of running years ago, but I just found it boring. But with something like karate, you're learning stuff, and you're learning about history and all that. So the exercise kind of comes is a byproduct. So that's kind of why I did that. But in the end, I ended up having cartilage out of both knees. Trouble is, when you're kicking fresh air for years on end, I know now when they do a lot of martial arts, they do include a lot of pads, because when you're kind of overextending knee joints and arms, I can't tell you how many times you go down the room and you'll be punching fresh air. It can't be good for your joints over time. But yeah, lifting weights, I'm not a massive fan of cardio. I do find it boring. I don't mind a little bit of rowing and stuff like that, but you know, sitting on a cycling machine or something like that bores the arse off me. Okay, possible 2 legs down. Is this going to push up? I don't know. The fact that we've come off the top here, we've come back to the bottom, and we've only got up this far, and where we are, right at the midline here. Is that the midline or the open? That's the open, isn't it? Right at the open. So we've pushed above the open and we've pushed twice more. Now we're pulling back. So is this going to break and come down, or is it just going to continue on up? I don't know. But yeah, there's the open where we opened last night. Yeah, everyone's talking about second entry longs and higher lows, and I'm the only idiot thinking this could still come down. Oh well, I've not given up yet. I certainly wouldn't trade it short. you know, I'm thinking it still could come down, but it's not something I'd want to trade. Now a 20 tick bar straight up. Thomas Way's looking for a higher low. A few are actually. See if this is a channel. This for me is losing a little bit of momentum. We're not getting to the top. We've come off the bottom. We've had 2 legs up, a retest and a pullback. We're struggling to get into the top section of this channel. So for me, I'd expect a break here. I'm going to take a higher low. I don't think we're going to get one, are we? Just concerns me when we do this. Can you see how many sellers? There's about 650 sellers just below 75, which is there. And that worries me. You can see them there, 483 and 142, right next to each other. 630 odd contracts, a fair old chunk of contracts, that is. Now, whether they get yanked or not, who knows? Excuse me a sec, I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay, here comes our break. Now, there'll be liquidity. I won't be surprised if this comes down and clears some of this liquidity. Depends. There is 2 legs down in the bullish bar there. I would have to decline that. High or low might be a better option, but the trouble is we've come off the bottom. We're only getting to there. We're not getting up to the tops. So that is lack of momentum. And often that leads to a break. So I won't be taking this. Now, it is 2 legs down. It may work, but I'm certainly sitting tight here. Still not a massive fan of that channel, to be honest with you. I'll keep the one on the left, but I'm getting rid of this one. There's something about it I don't like. It's not moving up nicely for me. I'm still not convinced this thing ain't going to come down. Yeah, someone's just posted that. He's got rid of this bigger channel, and that looks better, I think. It's more sideways than up, I think, isn't it? So I'm not a fan of it. I've not liked it all the way up. It's quite random. It doesn't seem to be following anywhere strong. So I certainly would expect it to clear out some of this liquidity. Okay, that's going to start picking off some of this stuff in a minute. There goes the first bit. There goes the second bit. I think, yeah. It's got a tick below there, so it's cleared out both those. Now let's see what it's going to do. It's just under 5, that is. Wilson, come here. What are you doing, lad? What are you doing? What are you doing? Right, is this finally the surge down to test the lows? Or is it just a break of a channel and then we're going to find our way up? Okay, there's the measured leg down. Now, bounce, bounce, bounce. See if we get any reaction here. Okay, sellers at 60. 222 contracts right there. Now, if we had a second entry short, how would I feel about going short? I don't know. Now, we have bounce here, and here, but the fact that we got sellers here is interesting. Does that mean if we get a push up there, it may come down? Okay, sellers here and a little bit above as well. So 400, 500, there's nearly 700 contracts between there. So 2 pushes up. 2 legs up. Would I go short here? I think I probably would. It's going to have to get into these sellers out. There is a second entry short there, but with these sellers at 60 and above, I'd have to wait. Okay, so we're hitting these sellers now. So 2.5. That's a little bit higher up. Will it go that I don't want it to go much further. The trouble is there's 459 contracts around about 3.5. It's too high, that is. Okay, I'm now not thinking about that coming down. It may do, but it's going to be someone else riding it down. Okay, it's eaten those sellers there. Now let's see what happens. It would have to be a lower high for me. I want to see some real rejection in. I don't think we're going to get it. There is still sellers at 65. Not a huge amount. 135 contracts. Right there. It's moved too far up, I think. Well, there is a possible failure there. Do I really want to go long there? 18 ticks. I don't think so. There is a second entry short, but the bar's naff. I can't see you trapping money. I like getting in for 18 ticks. May work. $18 ticks, tick above, tick below. There's only a 1.5 to the highs. It would have to get up to there for me. Am I that confident it's going to do that? Maybe it will. Who knows? But once it breaks above there, it's already technically played out. I wouldn't want to hold on. So for that reason, no good for me. 18 ticks, tick above, tick below. It's 20 tick risk. 5 points. $250, $5,000 risk. Not a chance. It would have to. That would have to be right down here for me. Trapping shorts and right tight to the upper part of that. That AMA. So, channel break, new high by 1 tick. So that's played out. See, the way this is moving up, I really wouldn't be shocked if this came down. In fact, I think it's going to. I haven't given up on that. I just don't like all this. It's pushed up and it's gone chopping. This is that 50% level here. We are struggling. So my gut feeling is this is going to come down. And if we have a second leg here, that's going to considerably take us below, close to those lows, certainly within shooting distance of these bits of liquidity where we bounced. So we'll see. Maybe I'm delusional today. But just how it's looking, we kind of had a few moves up and then we went a bit chopping. We're struggling to get higher. I really wouldn't be shocked. If we have a leg down and possibly a go at another leg, who knows? Maybe as I'm talking out my arse today, who knows? There's some kind of a range of sorts. It's not the best looking thing in the world, is it? But oh, excuse me. There is a higher low here, actually, and if price is going up, it's probably not the worst trade in the world, but we've had a break and a new high already. I'm still not convinced this thing might find its way down, so this at the minute is just choppy. Now, it could go up, it could come down, it may go up a bit and come down, but that's quite a strong... I mean, it's 19 ticks, but we're at the highs already. It may well go up. And I'm just sitting tight here. It's already played out, that channel has anyway. If I go like that, somewhere along those lines, it's already played out. There's our break. That bar there is our new high. But I don't think it's the worst trade in the world. It's 19 ticks. It's rather a lot, to be honest with you, but it's working nice. It's not a bad trade, actually. I'd be interested to see if anyone takes that. Yeah, I know it's a bad trade to take long there, to be honest with you. Why won't that work? Oh. What is going on here? What is going on here? Okay. Took the second entry. Certainly look much better on here. Trouble is, technically, we've already had a break and a new high by 1 tick. But it did work, I think. Comfortably. Took the short too. Bitcoin's dropping again. It did recover back up to 70. It's down to 66 again. Oh, if Bitcoin drops below 60,000, it could have a right old drop again. 66.3. Okay, I think I'm going to do another 10 minutes. And I'm going to pop back for an hour later, I think. Not the easiest of trading days, to be honest with you. Nothing down there, really. And then you have a break and you're looking to retest. And then we have another push up and it starts to go sideways. So is there anything in hindsight I would have taken in? Not really. Channel down, a little bit of a break. Nothing there. Nothing at the top. Nothing here. The only one that I think looked somewhere decent was the higher low there. We got a channel break, a new high technically, but then we come back to the EMA and we have a really strong bull bar. So I don't think that's the worst trade. Trouble is, it's very choppy at the moment, and going long just above that EMA, well, just above the center line, you never quite know. I'm always nervous about trading in the middle. but it was 20 ticks, so it's a fair old risk. It's a $5,000 trade to get wrong for me, and I just wasn't confident enough it's in the middle of here to get in there, but it did work, and it didn't look a bad position anyway. I would have expected it to get up for a second leg, but you know, no sooner did it get up, it started working back, so it didn't act as strong as I thought it might be. Having said that, when price came down, it didn't get below it. You know, sitting on top of the EMA, as bullish as that is, that's usually a strong position, and in a lot of cases price will come back and it won't stop it out, and it's looking like we got a channel break and 2 pushes up. So the fact that it held speaks volumes about it. I think it's, if I take a trade and it looks like that, it's really strong, isn't it? So, but you know, so it's working. It didn't hang around, so I think that was okay to take that. I ummed and ahed about it. It's in the middle of this. I don't know whether it's going to try and come down or whether it's going to go up or whether it's just going to chop back and forth. I'm not a massive fan of all this stuff. Same with there. It was a bit trappy. There was a trade there. I think that did work, the second entry short, but not before it pushed back and forth. It may have just got me. I may have been okay, but the trouble is, when you're doing this and there's a good chance it's going up, do you really want to go short there? That's the problem. It's not really super clear. I've had the bigger channel, in which case going short probably isn't the best idea. So it's just very up and down in it this afternoon. So I think sometimes, until I see something obvious, I'm just sitting tight, because if you get it wrong on a 20 tick bar, it's a painful loss, because your patience had kind of got the better of you. But the sensible thing to do was to stay out there. There is kind of a failure, a second entry wrong failure, but it stops up and then you get another bear bar there, a lower high, and then you come down a bit and then you take off. So going short there, although the setup doesn't look terrible, the context is at the moment saying price is generally moving higher. So that would have been a lever for me anyway. I left the whole thing. I think there was a good chance it was either going to shoot up or shoot down. Obviously up it went. But apart from that, in hindsight, that's the only one I think that looked pretty decent. And I know technically you're supposed to be out before the highs, but I think if it's a strong enough position like that, I certainly would expect a second leg up. So if you get in there, I mean, you got plenty of room for a second leg up. We've had another leg up and some. So if it's a strong position like that, usually it'll work. Trouble is, when you've got to make a quick decision, it's a large bar, it's in the middle. Sometimes it's easy. I don't know, sometimes you get in, sometimes you don't. It wouldn't have been long ago before I'd have just jumped straight in there, but I do sit and think a little bit more now. But to be honest with it, took off quite quick. So you may have even missed it. If you decided someone like Thomas Wade, he'd rarely take a bar like that. He'd put a limit order, in which case then it wouldn't have got you, unfortunately. But I noticed Thomas Wade does that 9 times out of 10. He has a limit order. Trouble is, sometimes if it's a strong enough position, it won't pull back and you'll miss out on a trade. What I try and do is actually hover on the close, so I get maximum entry. You know, obviously a lot of the cases is go a tick below, but I actually like to drop it on the close. You save a tick. Sometimes that tick will save you, and then I hover, and the second it closes above it, I drop it. 19.9 times out of 20, it grabs you anyway, so the tick don't make a difference. But if you get in 3 or 4 ticks back on a trade like that, you'd have missed it. He does miss a few, Thomas, like that. I'm surprised he does that all the time, but you know, he has his own way of doing stuff, and that's, you know, no one can tell you you're doing it wrong or right. If you're making money at it, you're doing it right. So are we finally now moving up some more? It's been a bit crappy, this, isn't it? We looked like it were moving up, then we went sideways, and then there was a little bit of uncertainty where it was going to go, and now we're moving up again, which is a ball ache, isn't it? So I've been doing how long? 3 hours, I think. Where's my timer? Yeah, a few minutes under 3 hours. So I'm going to leave it there. Actually, I'm going to go and have some dinner. I'm going to pop back in about an hour or so later. It's been a bit slow and a bit boring, isn't it? Trading can be sometimes, but there's just not been a lot really. But that's kind of the nature of the beast, isn't it? So I'm going to leave you folks there. I appreciate your company. Best of luck. I hope you get a setup. If I do take anything later, I'll show you tomorrow. I'll take a snapshot of it and I'll show you tomorrow. But failing that, have a good evening. Stay safe. Best of luck. And we'll catch up tomorrow. Bye for now.